Hey, Intuitive Soul Tribe. Mel, Intuitive Soul Coach here, excited to bring to you today's collective reading where we dive into the energy of self-awareness. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. These are general readings. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you're interested in a personal reading, entering into the free monthly reading giveaway, or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, welcome beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being here today. Very important reading. As I was connecting and tuning in prior to each and every session, whether it's done on the phone, in person, or on YouTube here, I asked Spirit, what is for the greatest good of all? What do we need to focus on today? And immediately I heard awareness. So self-awareness, awareness of what is going on within us, around us, the company we keep, the energy of others, what our body is trying to tell us, awareness of what's happening around the globe, around the planet. So this is what we need to focus on at this time. So what better way to do so than use the Soul Truth Self-Awareness card deck? And we'll take a look at the messages that are showing up. We'll take a look at action steps and energy and messages moving forward. So let's dive in here. Right away, you have what boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships. This is something that so many of us fail to recognize or to see or to take action on. Whether you are a doormat and you've let people walk all over you, okay, this could also be boundaries within relationships with our own children, parents, coworkers, friends, and even our own spouses or significant others. There's going to be, equal give and take or push and pull within these dynamics. They're here to help us grow and evolve. But if you find that you are surrounding yourself with people who take, and they don't give back in return, that's going to leave you exhausted. And a couple of the messages that came through as I was sitting in meditation, some of you are not paying attention to your body's needs. Okay, so the body may be trying to get our attention because we can have that relationship with our bodies. This is our vehicle here on earth. And if we don't have a good relationship with our body, if we don't set those healthy boundaries, then the body can react in negative ways, right? It can create and manifest dis-ease or disease. It can cause inflammation. The energy centers within our body tend to be overworked or overburdened. So some of you really are trying to focus more on the relationship you have with your body, which means what you're putting into your body regarding foods, beverages, the people you surround yourself with, getting adequate sleep, exercise, what you are viewing on maybe television, what you are listening to, what you are reading. So I am getting here, the body is so very important. And I'll see here if we have any other body. Yes, we have a body card right here. It says, what is my body telling me? So we'll dive into that here momentarily. But I just wanted to give you right away the messages coming up during meditation so we don't forget. Sometimes I get bombarded with a lot of messages. Another thing coming in here is some of you may be second guessing or doubting yourself, or you may be letting other people make some decisions for you. And we're going to dive into that in this reading because this is all about you being self-aware of your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, and most importantly, your higher self, your own energy vibrations, and blending and mixing all of these together to come up with the best possible outcome that's in your highest good. Okay, so if you feel like someone is pushing your boundaries, and this kind of goes along with what we just said here, this is a time for you to strengthen or create healthier boundaries, whether this is with your own body, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your spouse or someone at work who may be taking advantage of you. It says here, to create more healthy boundaries, we must first get in tune with our own needs, desires, and feelings and believe we are worthy of them. So basically what we just said here in a nutshell. So this is all about you taking a look at what matters to you instead of focusing on everyone or everything else, which I know we have, we have certain responsibilities. Some of us are parents. Others of you are taking care of loved ones. You may be healers, nurturers, caregivers. But that doesn't mean that we have to compromise our own health mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. Because remember, beautiful ones, we are all on a divine soul mission with our own purpose. And it says here, in your relationships, it's essential to know where they end and where you begin. Today's soul action. When we separate our energy from others, we gain clarity about what we really want. Then we stop doing things that no longer align with ourselves. If you are an empath, you can still be compassionate towards others without taking on their stuff. It is safe to trust that you are not here to fix anyone. And that can be so challenging at times when you are a healer. Even for those of you star seeds, which a lot of you are. You're star seeds, you're healers, you're light workers, you're spiritual beings who've come here with a great purpose to help mankind, to help humanity, to help raise the vibration of the planet here, including starting with yourself first and foremost. So, excuse me, a lot of you may be strengthening the relationship that you have with yourself through spiritual means, by paying attention to your body, as we spoke about, by learning more about your own energy and your own surroundings. And your mantra today, your mantra is, I have everything I need within me now, and so do they. I am worthy of my needs, and I set boundaries based on what is best for me. Okay, what is best for you? And so many times we get caught up thinking that we have to do something for someone else. We have to take care of or look after or focus on this person's needs. We may have been taught that it is selfish to put our own needs before that of another. But just like they say in a plane, right? Put the face mask on yourself first before you reach over and help your neighbor or the person sitting next to you. Because what good are you, your purpose, your mission, your help, your healing, if you don't have, excuse me, the energy to give, if you don't have the strength or the ability or the capacity to give what you do not have, right? So a lot of you, I feel like you've been taking on a lot. I am getting here 10 of Swords energy, 10 of Swords energy. Now we're going to pull from this beautiful oracle deck here. I'm getting 10 of Swords in my mind's eye at this time, and that's about taking on a lot and needing to prioritize. Maybe even ask for help, someone to come in and maybe lighten the load a little bit here. For some of you, it's about assertiveness, being more assertive with your needs and your wants, asking for what it is that you need, not coming from a place of bitterness or anger or, ego, but knowing that you are worthy of these things, asking for that raise, asking for additional help around the house, setting boundaries with your own kids, having them pick up after themselves. So being assertive in a loving, compassionate way does exist. So you have here the mongoose. And it says self-assertive, genuineness, and candidness. So yeah, this is about you being genuine within your own self and having it reflect into your outer world. And you'll see that things start to flow to you more easily, more readily when you strengthen and create these boundaries. If you notice that every time you eat a certain food that your body doesn't agree with you, but yet you keep eating that same food, what that's doing is you're crossing that boundary. It's not a healthy boundary that, your body is telling you, hey, I don't like this. This isn't good for you. You're not going to feel good. If it's something you're drinking or indulging in or numbing or suppressing, it's going to react in a negative way. And I'm getting inflammation in the body here for some of you. Next, you have the blue heron, diplomacy, peacemaking, and positive omens. Some of you may just keep the peace. That's why you may feel like you walk on eggshells at times, or maybe you don't want to strengthen those boundaries because you feel like it'll shake things up too much. Therefore, you'd rather just be the the rug or the mat, the doormat, right? That you feel like you get stepped on, but you're willing to do that to keep the peace. That's you not honoring you. It means that if you are doing that at this time, I want you to take a look and reflect on this question. Do you believe that you are worthy enough? Do you honor yourself enough? Do you love yourself enough to know that you are more than just a doormat? Okay? Even if you want to keep the peace, it's important for you to keep the peace here as well. Because when you heal, the world heals. Setting a good example for the people around you as well. You have chicken, fertility, renewal, and communication. So some of you, oh, I just love these cute little chickens here. Some of you, this is about birthing new ideas into the universe, but there needs to be some boundaries within your free time, what it is that you're doing. So if you are working on a project, if this is your career or relationship or any sort of communication, it's important to create a safe space to do so and be able to share, express, birth your ideas into the universe. So take a look at where you can strengthen relationships when it comes to communication. Okay, when it comes to feeling a sense of rebirth, renewal. I feel like a lot of you are worn out possibly in your everyday responsibilities or within your health. Some of you may even raise chickens. I'm getting here brown farm eggs. Maybe you just purchased some brown farm eggs, or maybe that's on your grocery list. Next you have croc, skink, and mantis. Misdirection, boundaries, and vocalization. You literally have the word boundaries here. So you can see that there is a cute little, skink with a mantis, praying mantis on top of it. And you may feel at times that the world, and we're going to talk about the world at large here, what you watch on the news, what you listen to on the radio, a lot of outlets, right? Social media outlets, news outlets. Are you being misled and misguided? And are you just going in that direction because maybe you're too fearful, or, that could be the chicken. Maybe it feels not as brave to step into a direction where you think for yourselves. Okay, that's what we're being called to do at this time. This is about you being aware that a lot of the things that you are seeing on a global level or a worldwide level, you're being misdirected or guided. People may be having you focus over here to avoid what's happening over here. That's why self-awareness is so important at this time. We must speak up. If someone is getting bullied and you are witnessing it and you view it, but you're too scared to speak up, or maybe you don't want to be part of it, not my circus, not my monkeys, right? That in itself is a part of why you are here on earth, to speak up about the injustice, the mistreating, the poor behavior. So if you feel like you've been caught between a rock and a hard place, it's not because you're not stuck between a rock and a hard place, but it's because you've come here to shift the energy. And the only way that you can do that is put yourself in a state of energy where you can help, where you can heal, even if it takes a lot of courage, a lot of dedication, a lot of vocalization to speak up for yourself or for someone else. For some of you, you're being called to speak up for those that don't have a voice, or for those that have been through challenges where they don't feel they have the strength to speak up. And that could be through calling someone out when they are wrong. It could be writing a book about being a survivor, right? Or being a hero. For others of you, it could be about expressing the truth through your own social media platform. It could be speaking up in the workplace when things are imbalanced. It could be taking someone to court because of a wrongdoing. So I feel like that is part of the strengthening of these boundaries, and to righting the wrongs is what I hear. Next you have diving beetle, slow movement, creative force, and water. So it may be slow coming to this point, right? But I feel with the creative force, this is about that sacral chakra, which is located about 2 inches below your navel. That's about that being activated. That can be about relationships with self, with others. It's all about our pleasure. And a lot of times we don't, as humans, right, as souls having this human experience, we don't always want to head towards things that feel unpredictable, head towards, danger or anything that can cause us to feel imbalanced, right? We want to feel good. We want to feel pleasure. A lot of us seek pleasurable activities or pleasure in relationships. And sometimes we run when things get difficult. And I feel like it's important for you to speak up, ask for what you need, even if it's difficult to do so. It is asking for the truth, even if you don't really love what the truth may be, but it's actually going to allow you to slow down, connect, and become more aware of yourself, your needs. And lastly, here you have the salmon. And don't salmon, I believe they swim upriver to co-create, right? That's why you hear about the salmon run. So this makes perfect sense as your final card in the boundaries, because this is all about you going against the grain instead of going with the crowd where everybody may be following, the sheep. This is about you going in a new direction and speaking up. So some of you really need to hear that today. Vocalize, speak up. This is about divination. It's about new ideas and maybe even going against the grain in a new direction instead of going with what everyone thinks you should do or going with what society says is right. This is about you breaking free from a situation where it's now time for you to create a healthy boundary. Relationship-wise, career, societal, whatever it may be for you, it's okay to go upriver. It's okay for you to question authority. It's okay for you to, set a healthy boundary. That's not selfish. That is part of what you need to do to grow, thrive. I was going to say thrive and survive, right? Grow, thrive, and survive here on earth. Now, next you have here, to whom am I comparing myself right now? So when we compare ourselves to other people or to, when we compare ourselves to our own selves, when we say, I wish, I should have had this by the age of 30, or I'm the only one in my family who doesn't have children, or, whatever it may be, when we're constantly comparing, it lowers our frequency, it lowers our vibration, and it actually makes us feel really bad about ourselves, really bad about the situation we're in, and it can keep us in a place of complacement. It can keep us stuck. So it says, what you are able to see in another is only visible because it is within you, ready to be brought out. Shine light on this feeling of not good enough and see the truth. All that you need and want is within you. Today's soul action. Today, stop comparing and start creating. Instead of saying, I wish I had that business, they look really profitable and they're doing good and they're living with their soul purpose. Instead of wishing we had their lives, it's time to create that life for yourself. Same with relationships. Even if you're single or if you are in a relationship that maybe needs to be strengthened with boundaries, or maybe you're in it to make someone else happy or to appease, someone else, or maybe to not stir the pot. You're willing to sit in something even if it's miserable. This is saying stop comparing, start creating, because sometimes we fail to recognize that we have the power to make big changes, but we have to be brave enough to step into that change. And we, having this human experience, one of the most difficult and challenging things that we can do is embrace change. That's why so many of us stay in a quote, quote, comfort zone, because it feels comfortable, but it's not, right? A lot of times our comfort zone isn't necessarily comfortable. It's just what we've grown accustomed to. It's what we've grown used to, and we're willing to settle. Some of you need to hear this. Stop settling. Okay? It's important for you to stop judging or stop comparing. Start creating. Make new choices. You are the magician of your own life. Let's see what messages are coming in for you here. We're going to actually pull from the tarot. We're going to pull from the tarot here and see what is coming up for you. What do we need to know about comparing? All right, we have one card here. The Dolphin, the Knight of Cups. This is about joy, romance. This can also be the trickster. Are you tricking yourself? Sometimes, and that's that Magician as well, even though it's not the Magician, it's the Knight of Cups. Sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking we're happy when we're not, or to saying that this relationship is going to get better, or this situation is going to get better, or we'll have this, right? Yes, of course, positive thinking and affirmations, but we also have to have that belief, that joy, that heart energy backing it up here. So the Dolphin is coming in, also reminding you to have fun, lighten up a little bit. Because again, when we compare, or when we are judging or criticizing or gossiping or blaming or shedding, shade at someone else, it really drops the vibration. And I feel like a lot of you are really tense, possibly even in the neck region. I'm getting more and more, and this is a sign of great change for me and ascension, not just personally, but energetically on a collective level. The right ear really starts to feel ringing, cloudy, far away. So a lot of you may be getting a lot of downloads. Pay attention to your ear chakras. You may have heard me say that before, but this is a time for more fun, more laughter, and more play. You have, how can I surrender even more in this moment? It is essential to have clear, strong intentions of what we desire, but it's equally important for us to detach from the outcome. It's time to surrender. Let the universe have some breathing room to work. Let go of the wheel and trust so deeply that your trust turns into gratitude for what you can't see coming, but it's here, or you may not see it yet, but you know that it is coming. A lot of you have felt like there's big change. You may be in the middle of it, or intuitively and energetically you've been feeling the change, whether this is in your own personal lives or on a collective level. I want you to know this, beautiful ones. Know this so deeply that your soul vibrates that you are not alone. So many times we feel like we are all alone here on planet Earth, right? We feel like we've been alone from our births. A lot of you have been separated, alienated, rejected, abandoned. Maybe you're single. This is about you, not just the physical surface level of you, not just the human level you. You are not alone. Your life has purpose, and the more you surrender, the more God can produce miracles in your life. Today's mantra, I surrender. I accept all that I cannot change, and I release the outcome, and I joyfully trust the process. This is something that I see so often doing intuitive energy readings for people. Is we have what our ego wants, or what we would like to see happen, some sort of an outcome, but sometimes that outcome isn't part of the divine plan. Spirit has better plans for us in mind. We may not see it while we're going through it, but this is something that sometimes it is out of our control, because destiny and fate, right? We have our soul divine plan, but then of course we have free will. We have free will to go with that plan, or to, go with our ego's plan. And a lot of times when we go with what our ego's plan is, we're disappointed. Right? Because we're not allowing the universe to have breathing room to work its magic. We may be obsessive about it. We may be pushing so hard against what the divine plan is that we lose sight and lose focus of the joy and the pleasure and, the lessons in a powerful, abundant, joyful way, right? This is about you being able to go with the flow, because we hang on to these attachments. We hang on to feelings and words and memories, where really our bodies are meant to let them flow through us. Because when we hang on to these things on an energetic level, when we don't fully surrender, it creates dis-ease in the body. It manifests, it blocks our chakra centers, and it can manifest in the form of illness, right? Illness, depression, anxiety, bruises, cancer, inflammation, all of these things. Yes, there are certain things externally that play an effect with the body, but on a deeper level, we know about this. All right, let's clarify. How can we help you surrender more? What do we need to know? Walrus, Eight of Cups. We just talked about this. Abandonment, escapism, right? Some of you are ready to leave something behind or to overcome that escapism. It's time to have that self-awareness, to face the truth. It says here, truth seeing. Eight of Cups is all about moving on, walking away to something bigger and better. It's the quest for something deeper. It's the quest for that soul purpose. It is all about not ignoring the call to move in a new direction. You must, in order to go in this direction, you must surrender, right? If you want a deeper experience of the heart, surrender. If you want a deeper experience of passion and purpose, career, vitality, health, then surrender. Because some of you may be fighting the change, and that's going to cause delays, and it's going to cause resistance, and it's going to feel icky and sticky. And we want you to flow with it, okay? Flow through it, because this too shall pass. Next up, you have, okay, thank you, Spirit. I just heard the name Mallory. Mallory, if that is your name, someone around you, it could be a grandmother as well. We have, from whom can I release my judgment? And we just talked about the judgment. It went hand in hand with that comparing card. So we won't clarify. I'm just going to read what's on it here. Judgment closes our heart to truth and separates us from love. It binds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom are we placing judgment right now? Is it someone in your life? Is it yourself? Release the shackles, drop the expectations, and be grateful for what is. So many times I have asked, what are you grateful for? And sometimes people do not even feel or have one thing they are grateful for. If you feel that way at this moment, it's really important for you to maybe start a gratitude journal, to start getting into the repetitive pattern of focusing on the things that bring you gratitude, because the more gratitude that you have, the more you give thanks, the more the universe brings more things to be thankful for, or the more you become aware of the blessings and the miracles in your life. Today's soul action. Look at the person you're judging as if you're looking at a small child, including yourself. See them learning and growing, falling down and making mistakes. See their desire to be loved and accepted. Add even more grace to open your heart to this truth. When I lift the judgment for myself and others, I uncover my own truth, that I am loved, I am whole, I am limitless, and so are they. Now, releasing judgment and seeing someone, this is empathy as well. When we're able to see things from someone else's point of view without carrying their stuff, it can help us empathize, and it can help us release some of those lower energies, those lower emotions that we may hang on to. Now, it doesn't mean that someone treated you, it doesn't validate that it's okay that the way someone treated you, because it doesn't mean that that's okay, but it means that you're able to release. Just like forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about ourselves, right? Because sometimes we do feel trapped in that imprisonment. So some of you, it's important to be aware of whom and what you are maybe judging or criticizing at this time, or comparing. Next you have, what is my body telling me right now? You know that bump, that bruise that you have on your leg, right? Bruises can represent the bumps and bruises that we take on. It can be self-punishment. It can be anger. Taking a look at where you hold your stress in the body. Are you holding your stress in your back? Do you feel supported? Do you hold your stress in your neck? Are you being overly stubborn, or are people stuck in their ways around you? Right? Do you have a lot of tension and stress going on in the head, in the crown chakra? Are you trusting? Are you surrendering? Or are you letting your mind get the best of you? Our body speaks to us through physical pain or discomfort. Our body sends messages for us to look more deeply, see the trapped emotions, the lurking fears and beliefs that limit us. Listen to your physical body, and you will be led to the source of your pain. It's time to get your healing on. There is a really wonderful book, maybe some of you have heard of, Louise Hay, Heal Your Body. Now, that book has every single, at least most of them, I would say 99% of physical symptoms, illnesses, whether it's cancer, whether it's acne, whether it is slip disc in the back, including which vertebrae, right? So if you want to get to the source of the problem and you're having difficulty tuning into your own intuition, get that book, Louise Hay, Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life. That'll give you the metaphysical reason behind all physical symptoms. And it gives you affirmations that you can say to help you heal as well. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the energy centers of the body. Okay, some of you need to get your vision checked as well. That could be symbolic for third eye chakra. Creating a new future for yourself. What does that look like? What does your next chapter look like in your storybook, in this story of life that you have here? All right, so you have a lot of cards out. You have the Wolf, Knight of Pentacles. This is your reputation. This is reliability, and it's all about results. So some of you, you could be doctors, you could be healers. This is about you being reliable, you obtaining results in order to help maybe your own clients or your own patients. I'm also getting here with this Knight of Pentacles. This is some of you going to see a shaman, a therapist, a healer, a Reiki practitioner, a massage therapist, a rehab specialist, some sort of healer or professional, even if it's an eye doctor or a surgical doctor. I'm getting here oncology. Some of you may have had cancer, cancer scares, or someone has dealt with cancer in or around your family or your energy field. But the Knight of Pentacles is someone who is reliable. So trust your intuition when it comes to connecting with other people, including people you are helping to heal. Now you have the Two of Swords, indecision, information overload. Some of us turn a blind eye because there's just so much information. When you think about diets, right? You've heard of the keto diet, the Mediterranean diet. You've heard fasting can be good or bad. You've heard that potatoes, too much starch, right? We hear things on information overload. We hear avocados are great, but they're too fat, too much of a fat content. So there's constantly things that are being thrown at us, and it's hard to keep up with all of that information sometimes. That's where self-awareness comes in, because what works for someone else, beautiful souls, doesn't always mean that it's going to work for you. That's where we must trust ourselves, trust our body, and get in touch with our own soul's truth in order to heal. That is a big message for you today. It's also about not second guessing your intuition. For those of you healers out there, whether you do that professionally or this is personally or in your own personal lives, don't second guess what you are receiving. Don't second guess and turn a blind eye to a situation because you're too fearful to look at it, okay? The blue-footed booby here says this can be impossible, it can be indecision, or just feeling, again, like there's too much information to make a choice. Trust yourself to make the choice that's in your highest good. You have the hyena, 10 of Swords. Okay, so what is your body telling you? For some of you, to end a situation, to cut it out completely, cut out those sugars, that caffeine, the processed foods, to end that relationship, to stop telling yourself that you're not good enough. The 10 of Swords is all about betrayal, deep wounds, and recovery. So you may know that something is not good for you or not for you, but you may stay in it based on that what? That comfort zone that we talked about earlier. This is time for you to end a cycle once and for all. Okay? Once and for all. You have the Queen of Swords here. This is about quick wit, facing demons, and profound transformation. Look at that jaguar. She or he is fierce. And this is an energy here that you can embrace. You can embrace your quick wit. You can face the demons you are going through and will continue to evolve here on earth. But this personal transformation that a lot of you have been going through within your body is big. You have the bat. This is all about Hanged Man, and it's about surrender. And you literally, before this, right, you have how can you surrender? This is self-surrender, prophetic powers, and facing the darkness. So a lot of you, it is using your gifts, right? Your gifts that we all have. They're unique to us. They are authentic to us, right? This is about you surrendering to the divine plan, to the plan that your higher self already knew about in this lifetime. So if there's a situation that is uncomfortable, if it is damaging, if it's negative, if you know that it needs to be cut out, then surrender, okay? See a new perspective. What other story can you start to tell yourself? Do you believe that it's possible, or do you need to take a deep dive into some of those limiting beliefs? Some of you, it's money. You have the Queen of Pentacles here, Earth Mother. She wants you to know that you're protected, right? The universe supports you, your guides, your angels, spiritual beings, loved ones who've crossed over, your ancestors, your guides. Know that you are a noble soul, and Spirit wants you to know that you are protected as you pay attention to what your body, your senses, your feelings, your ears, what your intuition, all of the above is trying to tell you at this time. Okay, very beautiful messages here. And last but not least, you have, what do I resist feeling right now? We are in a day and age where escapism is so profound and pronounced, right? That we are coming to a point where things are coming to a head, so to speak, and people are acting out in crazy ways because we're not quite sure how to deal with what we've been running from for maybe our whole lives, maybe our life before this life. And it says here, we have to feel it to heal it. Yeah, in order to let go of pain, we first have to honor its existence. This isn't just on a personal level. This is on a collective earth level as well. We have to honor that it's here. By honoring it, we have to be aware that there's stuff going on, right? Emotions are like waves. Some are soft, some are fierce, some are layered, and some will sweep you off your feet. When we allow ourselves to feel it all, we can then release what no longer serves us. Today's soul action, allow yourself to feel this wave. Let it move through you, no matter how long it lasts. Then release it back into the ocean. Feel it, heal it, enjoy the sweet freedom within your soul. And we talked about this as well. The energy that goes through our body, it reverberates into feelings, right? Into feelings and emotions, and it has the brain remember certain things. All of these things coexist within each other. That's what makes life on planet Earth so interesting, because we have all of these beautiful things that coincide and work together, but it's important not to suppress or hang on to this stuff, right? We need to be aware of what it is so we can release it instead of lodging it into the body or projecting it outward into other relationships or other people or out into the universe. And if you're watching this video right now, you've come here, like I said, with a big mission to uplift. Even if you're saying, well, Melissa, I'm not a spiritual person, or you must be, you're watching tarot, but if you're saying, well, I don't have a job that does anything like you do, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to build a wellness retreat center and, be the next Buddha. But a lot of you on an internal level in your personal lives, the children that you may be raising, the relationships that are entering into your life and that have flowed out of your life, you've touched people on more levels than you even know. And that's why we have a life review. When we cross over and go home to the other side, you always hear that the tunnel or the life review, or you hear people say life flashes before my eyes. It's because you're able to see the impact of how you have left your stamp in the world. You see how your energy has reverberated, how you have shifted the course, how you've grown, how your actions have affected other people, right? So this is saying here, don't resist these feelings. If you have a strong call and an urge to go in a new direction, listen to that. All right, lastly, let's clarify what feelings. What are you feeling at this time? Some of you may say, Melissa, I feel too much, right? I hear that a lot. I feel too much. It's a curse. I don't like it. I don't want to feel anymore. Well, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is about you being divinely guided. It is about teaching and learning. It's about beliefs and morals. It is about taking a look at any corrupt advice, any cults or any governing agencies or establishments that you may think that they have your highest good. Maybe you've been taught, whether it's educational systems, whether it's governing agencies, whether it's your own parents. Question everything that you have learned. Spirit is asking you to question. Don't just go with what you have learned, right? Challenge it. Sometimes we need to unlearn things. Sometimes we need to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what is my truth? What am I here to break? What am I here to, and not break physically, but what am I here to break against, right? How can I shatter some glass ceilings? This is big business here. It's about spirituality, right? It's about tradition. So some of you are healing traditional and ancestral wounding. Yes, you are. You. This is big power, and it starts within you, yourself, your family, your bloodline, and it reverberates into the world. Next, you have the fly, the Five of Swords, right? The Five of Swords says that if there are some feelings around you and other people are wanting to win at all costs, this can also be pride before the fall, right? This is all about ego. I feel like this is more of a collective or a governing type of energy, worldwide, global. Pride before the fall. And we're already seeing the fall. We're seeing falls of everything happening here. But it's almost like a lot of people need to get in that last little piece of pride, right? Of power, of control, of greed. And this is a winning at all costs, but be aware. Be aware of these things that are happening around you. Don't believe everything you hear. You also have here the Lovers, love in all forms. It's all about commitment. It's about choices. So this Lovers energy is about harmony. It is about contracts. It's about partnerships, and it's about love. Love wins, and that's been showing up more and more through the readings is love wins. Okay, so when you're in doubt, ask yourself, what would love do? You have the Hermit. Ascension, illumination, and introspection. So yes, a lot of you have been in a hermit-like energy even since 2020, right? Or maybe even before that. You've been in this energy to become closer to you, right? To become closer to yourself, your body, your truth, your divine energy, your presence, your higher self. A lot of you may have noticed that in the last few years, you've connected to your spiritual side, maybe more than you ever have in your entire life. This is all about you gaining that introspection that illuminates the path, and it also illuminates things that were hidden in the shadows, but it's good because it brings this wheel of fortune. This is all about love, luck, life cycles, and major karmic events. So I like that. Wow, look at your two final cards here. If you're watching this, get ready because that wheel is spinning to bring in a favorable outcome. You have the Wheel of Fortune with the 10 of Cups. This is lasting happiness and success. It's about divine blessings. Again, major karmic events. So this isn't just karmic events showing up in your own world, which it is, right? It could be in relationships. It could be in jobs. It could be that you have dealt with some of the consequences, but now you are moving forward. I feel like this has to do with a collective global energy as well. Major karmic events are happening on an earthly level in order for us to have lasting happiness and success, in order for us to feel these divine blessings. So are you on the right path? I just heard someone ask, am I on the right path? You're on your true north. I do feel that. And if you feel stuck and if you feel stagnant, it just means that you're like that salmon at this time. You may feel like you are going upstream and there may be a whole lot of rocks in your way, but you're going to come out stronger. You're going to be all that you can be. You're going to fulfill your purpose, your mission, your passion. You're going to feel like you don't, like you are fulfilling your passion and your purpose. You're going to feel surrounded by soul, tribe, and love. Okay, you're going to create that heaven on earth. For those of you that you're already in it, and you do feel these things. You feel the shift energetically, but you may not be seeing them physically, but it's here. Your final cards, Wheel of Fortune combined with the 10 of Cups. What a beautiful clarifier here. When you truly get in touch with your soul's truth and your inner self-awareness, it leads you directly towards fortune, towards success, towards joy, towards happiness, and that wheel starts to spin forward, where those challenges, those obstacles that have been in your path in the past, when you start to let those energies flow through you instead of hanging on or resisting change, you're going to see how your world opens up to a brand new energy. How the world at large opens up to a brand new energy. One that is already here. We just need to raise up to meet it. That is what I have for you, beautiful souls. A little bit in depth. It may have been too in depth for some of you. Hopefully you took notes and it resonated. If so, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It certainly helps get the divine channeled messages out there to those that need it most. And it certainly helps the growth of the channel. Thank you so very much for being here today. Lots of love.